Well, we're going to kick things off with a deep dive into President Biden's tariffs. Biden is raising tariffs on clean energy goods from China. That includes things like electric vehicles, batteries, and solar panels even. So let's take a step back and define what a tariff is. Tariffs are a tax imposed by one country on the goods and services imported from another country. So why raise tariffs? Well, President Biden is concerned that China is using unfair trade practices to keep most of the global production and manufacturing in the country. So in an effort to promote industry growth here in America, Biden is raising the rate of the tariffs on certain goods imported to the U.S. from China, hoping American companies then will build more here at home instead of buying from overseas. For electric cars, the tariffs would quadruple from about 25% to over 100% on a Chinese-made clean energy automobile. So if you're in the market for one of those products, how will higher tariffs impact the price that you pay? Joining me now on this, we've got our very own Pras Subramanian and Rick Newman to break this down further. Pras, let's start with you because tariffs of 100% on EVs sounds like a lot. How much could this trickle down to consumers?
Well, the issue is that there aren't really any Chinese-made EVs sold in America other than the Polestar 2, which is they sell a few thousand of those every year. Polestar hasn't gotten back to me on how they're going to respond to this. But the fact of the matter is only basically about 2% of EVs are made in China that are sold in the U.S. 1.3 million sold in the U.S. last year. Only a handful of those are Chinese-made. So not really going to affect you much in the near term. But down the line, look, you're going to be sort of robbed from cheap Chinese EVs that are actually probably pretty good. I think a wide swath of Americans would actually like to drive these and like to own a cheap EV. They're not going to be able to get that because of these policies. But on the flip side, if you're Joe Biden, you want to protect American industry, you want to protect those jobs potentially that could be kind of knocked out by the overcapacity problem of China's EVs.
Yeah, and Rick here, the tariffs in semiconductors, solar panels, will they be significant for U.S. consumers as well here?
I think it's the same story. This is meant to keep those products out in the future. So it's not going to have that much across the whole board. And this is only about 15 categories of products. Just to put this in perspective, when Trump imposed tariffs on Chinese imports, it was hundreds and hundreds of categories of products. So this is very targeted. It's only going to be about $18 billion worth of products that are going to get a new tariff. Under Trump, it was something like $300 billion. Oxford Economics put an analysis out recently. They said they think this is going to push up inflation by 1 basis point. Okay, that's 0.01. Yeah. So what it is going to do is it is going to keep cheap products out of the market in the future. So to go back to EVs, there's a Chinese EV, a pretty good one you can get for $12,000. We're not going to be able to buy that car, or it's going to cost $24,000 if the manufacturer would decide. That's another thing they could do, by the way. They might say, well, we're just going to pay the tariff and send it here anyway. That's what happened with some of the Trump tariffs. Is the tariffs went on, the products kept coming, or they went through third-party countries. So there's a lot of gamesmanship here, but this is not. It's not going to affect any product for the most part that people are buying today.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, we're doing all this and tracking this in the march towards November as well. We'll see where this plays out in voters' minds also here.